The world of work is caught in a great debate. It's kind of like a tug of war between two seemingly opposite poles. The traditional structured office, the boundless freedom of remote work. On one side, leaders are sounding the alarm. They paint a picture of empty hallways, dwindling culture, arguing that innovation only happens when we share the same physical space. Arguing that collaboration only happens when we share the same physical space. They believe the office is the bedrock of community and creativity. We hear mandates echoing through corporate announcements demanding a full-time return to the cubicles we left behind. It's a powerful, nostalgic vision of how work used to be. But on the other side are the employees who have tasted a different way of working and honestly are pretty reluctant to give it up. They tell stories not of isolation but of focus. They speak of reclaimed commute times, more moments with family, and a newfound sense of autonomy over their days. When we talk about flexible work, we often oversimplify it. It's not a single concept, but a wide spectrum of arrangements. Show the spectrum: full-time office on the left, hybrid models in the center, fully remote on the right. At one end, the full-time office model, the traditional default. This structure is built on co-location, with employees expected to be present during set business hours, 5 days a week. Its proponents champion its ability to foster spontaneous conversations and a tangible, shared sense of company identity. It operates on the principle that physical proximity is the primary driver of collaboration and oversight. It's a model built for a world where work was a place you went to. In the middle of the spectrum lies the hybrid model, which has become a popular compromise. Yet hybrid itself is not one size fits all. It can mean a structured schedule, like 3 days in the office and 2 at home. Or it might be more fluid, allowing teams to decide when they gather in person for specific purposeful activities like project kickoffs or team-building events. The key to a successful hybrid model is intentionality. It fails when it becomes a clumsy imitation of the office, simply recreating old routines in a new format. It thrives when presence is driven by a purpose, not policy. At the other end of the spectrum is the fully remote or location-flexible model. This model decouples work from a specific geographical location, opening up a global talent pool and offering unparalleled autonomy. It requires a high degree of trust and a culture built on asynchronous communication and measurable outcomes rather than visible activity. Companies that excel invest in digital tools and processes so connection remains seamless. Company culture is the way we do things around here. For years, leaders assumed here meant a physical office. The great remote work experiment put that assumption under a microscope, and the results are surprising. Research shows a well-managed, flexible policy can strengthen company culture. When employees get autonomy and trust, psychological safety rises. They feel more comfortable speaking up, sharing ideas, taking risks, and being judged on contributions, not face time. One big concern is teamwork. How do people collaborate if they're not in the same room? Spontaneous, informal interactions may decrease, but intentional collaboration often improves. Remote teams become more deliberate about communication. They schedule purposeful meetings with clear agendas. They document decisions meticulously. They get better at asynchronous collaboration. A 2023 Stanford IEP study found hybrid setups didn't hurt performance or promotions. That challenges the idea that distance hinders teamwork. Despite the mounting evidence in favor of flexibility, many leaders remain determined to pull everyone back to the office full-time. Why is that? Well, the reasons are often more emotional than empirical. One of the biggest drivers is just this sense of lost control. For decades, management was basically synonymous with direct observation. Leaders could gauge productivity by seeing who was at their desk, who was working late. But in a remote or hybrid world, that old metric just vanishes. This uncertainty makes some leaders uncomfortable. They equate physical presence with productivity and absence with slacking, which is actually a cognitive bias known as presence bias. The future of work is not about choosing between the office and home. It's about building a culture that thrives anywhere. This needs a deliberate, evidence-based approach. Establish a foundation of trust and autonomy. Stop making rigid rules about where and when people work. Set clear goals. Empower teams to choose how they achieve them. Measure performance by outcomes and results, not hours logged, not emails sent. Leaders must become architects of connection. Hybrid or remote culture doesn't happen by accident. Build purposeful rituals for in-person interaction and for virtual interaction. Bring teams together quarterly for planning and bonding. Use digital tools for daily collaboration. Make meetings purposeful, online and off. Use platforms to create virtual water coolers, dedicated channels for social chat, celebrating wins and sharing personal news. Technology is the backbone. Invest in tech, but pair tech with training. Train leaders. Build a seamless digital ecosystem for asynchronous work and effortless collaboration.